This is a special one, ladies and gentlemen. This is my cousin Cameron, pretty much my brother, one of my best friends. It's been amazing with Bam Bams. When Cameron started doing barbecue, I don't know if you guys have ever had friends or family that have put food on a plate in front of you and let you eat it, and you just like, this is celestial. This will be served in heaven. This is insanely tasty.
It's just crazy how it all came together. It was cool to be, to have somebody believe in you that much and just write a check.
I want to talk about ADHD and ADD. Cameron has...
It's just ADHD now.
Oh, so it's not
ADD. You know that? Yeah, no more ADD. It's just ADHD. That
really
covers all of it, yeah. ADHD is interesting. We have such a stigma with drugs, and for most things, it's merited. But with ADHD, I don't think people realize how serious it is. I remember taking that and just feeling like my whole world it was like I could read The Matrix or something all of a sudden.
Zach Galifianakis. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another podcast. Yes, this is a special one, ladies and gentlemen. This is my cousin Cameron, pretty much my brother, one of my best friends. We have stories for days. I apologize if it feels like we digress in maturity and age over the course of the next few minutes, because
it'll be fun.
Yeah, we're gonna keep it lively. We've got a good setup for today. This is gonna be really, really good one. So we're so happy you tuned in. Do people tune in on podcasts?
Sure.
See, Cameron's a podcast veteran. You've probably done like 100 now,
145.
Right? Oh, are you serious?
Yeah. But I think we're done.
Oh, for real?
I think so.
Is this an exclusive announcement here on the Scott Warner podcast?
Yeah, I don't think we've announced it. We recorded the first episode of season 3 and then just kind of like both got busy, and I don't know. I think we might be done.
You guys actually did really good.
We did really good.
You and Andrew Van
Buren. We had
a
lot of listeners. I still am getting 10 to 20 messages a week. Like, when's the podcast coming back? But
yeah, you guys have done a really good job. It's
we'll
the nitty gritty podcast.
Yep.
You guys started in like 2019?
Yeah, I think it was 19 or 20.
What number podcast was I for you? Do you remember?
You were up there. You were like one of the...
Like 6 or 7, I think.
Yeah, you were one of the first 10 or 20, I think.
Yeah, it was fun. We had a good time on that one too. So check that out. You'll have to dig into the archives.
Yeah, it's still good shows. And we had a lot of cool guests. But
yeah, you did. You guys did a good job. I didn't even think I was going to do this. I don't even know if you know how this came to be, but like I wasn't going to do this. I wasn't.
This is perfect for you. You should do this.
Well,
and this is really cool in here.
Isn't it cool?
It's kind of romantic.
It is romantic.
It's dark.
My wife and I come here on the weekends and have deep conversations.
Yeah, nobody can hear you with all the soundproofing.
Yeah, those deep conversations, we don't want anyone to hear.
Super deep. What?
Anyway, so we are so happy to be here today. And it's gonna get good. Anyway, Cameron and I go way back to first breaths. My first breath. Cameron was around for about 7 or 8 months before I joined the family. We have tons of naked pictures together as young men in bathtubs, and Cameron was. I have some favorites. We should probably B-roll and show a couple of these great pictures of us as wee lads.
Your little brother sent me one the other day.
Do you know that they got to be watching like a nude one or like?
Yeah, well, semi-nude. Like he was pulling my pants down.
Geez, this is really going. Yeah,
you'll like it. It's funny.
Okay.
But no, just keep talking.
Anyway, so Cameron and I. Oh my gosh! Get that out of here. We cannot have that.
That's how he woke me up.
Dude, if you have to check to see if that potentially got picked up on camera.
It's just my rear.
Oh, it's the full.
Much smaller.
Yeah.
Back then.
No, you still got a great rear, bro.
Thanks.
Anyway, yeah, so Cameron and I go way back, and we did a lot of stuff together. I mean, we have stories for days, so we're going to have a little fun towards the end of the podcast. But one of the things that Cameron and I have done for a lot of years together, we've worked together. Surprisingly, we're family. We really are brothers in many cases. But what's interesting about Cameron and I is we did a lot together. But this is a crazy story. We both went and served a mission for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. We got our mission calls the same day. We both were called.
There's an interesting preface, though.
Yeah.
You turned your papers in 5 weeks before me.
Yeah.
And we ended up getting our calls on the same day.
Same day. Okay. So we did pretty much everything together growing up. Same day, same call. We both got called to Chile.
Bordering missions in Chile, yeah.
Viña del Mar.
Santiago
West. So I ended up about, 3 months, 4 months deep into the mission. I ended up having to come home because of illness-related matters. Cameron knocked up a girl. He ended up getting sent home. No.
She didn't get pregnant.
No, I'm kidding. Cameron, same situation. We both came home for medical reasons.
Well, again, you're missing another fun point. Like, you were 4 to 5 months into the mission. I had 4 to 5 months left in the mission.
That's right.
I blew my knee out playing soccer.
That's right.
In a carpeted gym, by the way. Really stupid move on my part.
Yeah, are you kidding me?
But yeah, go ahead with the next part.
So, that both of us had a tough time with that, coming home and getting reassigned, but we both got reassigned. I got reassigned to Nashville, Tennessee. He got reassigned to Knoxville, Tennessee. Bordering missions again.
Not wild. We came home within like a week or two of each other.
So we essentially were always called to be homeboys.
Well, we went to the MTC the same day too.
Sorry.
So with you turning your papers in 5 weeks early, the fact that we got our calls the same day.
Yeah.
And we went into the MTC the same day, and we flew on the same plane
to Chile. Yep.
Wild.
That's wild. And I sat in between two big, beautiful men on the way out. Cameron sat next to two gorgeous women, I think, on the
Remember
way out.
I sold duty free on the plane?
Yes.
And then somebody ordered some Jack Daniels. I'm like, ma'am, I can't do this anymore.
I can't do this.
Please.
Yes. Anyway, so that just kind of shows you how aligned or attached we are from the very beginning. And then got home and worked together for quite a few years. I started working at a company called Pinnacle. Cameron didn't come out with me the first summer. I tried to get him to come out, and he said there were too many, places to go, ladies to do, and all. I mean, excuse me.
Places to do, ladies to see.
Ladies to visit.
These poor people. Sometimes it's better when you don't know the other person.
Yes. Anyway, so there were too many, places to go, things to do, ladies to visit, and so on. And he didn't come out. And I had a really good first summer. And so Cameron was crazy enough to join me for season 2 or summer 2.
Summer 2, and I lasted 3 weeks.
And Cameron quit after 3 weeks. I let you say it, not me.
It's your fault. You put us in these ghetto apartments in Stager.
Sometimes we need to learn and grow.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I went the third year and lasted 8 years
he did.
after
Hold on,
that.
I'm telling the story. Then the third year, Cameron decided, man, these guys have made great money. I think my brother Steve, who was 17, who could hack it, made like incredible money. And he's like, if Steve can do it, I got to go back. Then he came out the third year, and you crushed it. You did good. Yeah. You did really well, and that was the beginning of bliss for Cameron professionally for the next 8 years.
Bliss is a strong word.
Yeah.
But it was fun.
It was 8 years.
8 years, yeah.
8 years at Pinnacle. And then he and our good friend Andrew decided to, they basically gave me the middle finger and decided to start a competitor to our company.
It wasn't a competitor.
I'm kidding. Couple years. C&D Exotic Dancing.
Mm-hmm.
C&D Exotic Dancing. And what were you guys selling? I can't even remember.
We got leads for insurance companies. So we just took our door knocking skills and just basically got basic info and sold those leads to local insurance guys. It was awesome.
Yeah, and you did really well.
Yeah.
Actually, in all seriousness, what do you think that door knocking for a young man can do, or woman can do for them as far as their skills and profession? Do you advise it, or do you advise against
100%. I always tell people to go knock doors and not knock the whole. It's like, don't knock the whole summer sales thing, because it can be so good for you. Even if you don't make a ton of money, it's great for you, because rejection is an important thing to learn, like how to handle rejection. You're going to handle rejection, which a lot of people that go on missions kind of already know how to do that. But when you go out and knock doors, it's one, you learn that the sky is the limit as far as how much you can earn. And I think that's an important lesson for people. I think so many people get too comfortable with just making a paycheck. And it's so cool to be able to go out and say, like, I can get out what I put in. But learning rejection, learning how to live in other places is important.
It's healthy, yeah.
But especially now where kids are so horrible It's socializing in person. Like, it is so funny watching like my own kids. You know, Taya, my oldest daughter, she'll kill me if she hears this, but you know, she's almost ready to start dating, and she'll just chat with some dude on the phone like they've known each other for 10 years, and then they get together, you know, they come over and swim or something, and it's just like,
it's crazy.
Crickets. Like, they don't know how to be face to face. And so I think a lot of kids could benefit, especially where they grew up with phones, could really benefit from going out and learning how to talk to people, not just friends, but different races, different genders, different communities, different, you know, everything.
Yeah.
And so we knocked in Chicago for most of the time.
Yeah.
And man, what do you not get to talk to in Chicago as far as culture and race and everything else? You meet everybody. And so I think it's a no-brainer for a kid to be able to go out and do that. Because, I mean, you will not fear anything after a year of knocking doors.
No doubt. It's I would agree with everything that you just said. I think it's the best thing that a young man or woman can do is to get out and experience meeting people, learning to sell. And I mean, because if you can sell, you literally will have a job
for your whole life,
your entire life.
Without a doubt.
Without a
doubt.
Well,
it'll benefit you even if, you know, I own a barbecue restaurant, right? We own a barbecue restaurant, and it even helps with that.
Well, so let's get into the next chapter. So Cameron and I started a barbecue restaurant. And really, it has been one of my favorite businesses ever. And it's been amazing. I mean, really, the truth of the matter is Cameron, I think Cameron is one of the, and I'm not telling you this to make your head bigger than it already is, okay? You know, I can say there are I can count 10 people out. I could list the names of the most well-networked, but more importantly, the most socially skilled of anyone that I know. And I've met a lot of people in my day, and Cameron ranks in that top 10. And I would say that a lot of your success has come from having to meet so many people and learning how to talk and communicate with so many people. And you, like me, you know, you had to move away from, you know, your environment, from another, you know, California to Utah. We were both born in Long Beach, grew up our younger years in California, and had to move kind of, you know, right in the middle of school. That's not easy for a kid.
Mine was worse.
Why is that?
Because they moved to Heber when there was 3,000 people there from Huntington Beach.
Yeah, that's it.
Surfing 3 days a week.
Yeah.
To Heber. And this is like 91.
Yeah.
This is Heber, Utah, if you're listening outside of Utah, but Heber City's grown a lot.
Oh, yeah.
But when I moved there was a single stoplight, and it had just been installed. And there were everyone was cowboys. I mean, it was tiny. It was a two-way high school.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was brutal.
But so Cameron started getting into barbecuing, and this is really a pretty amazing story because, you know, every business has roots, and I just remember, I'm trying to remember the year. Could it have been the last year of Pinnacle or when you were doing C&D? I'm trying to remember when it began.
It was C&D. I didn't have any. I mean, I didn't light a grill. I mean, I didn't get into any sort of cooking or barbecue till I was 31.
Yeah.
Like, that's when I saw it on TV for the first time.
Yeah.
And so it was C&D, and it was right before I moved to Arizona for C&D.
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
So, Cameron's probably told this story 1,000 times. He's had plenty of articles written up on Gigg, on Bam Bams, and, you know, has been on numerous podcasts talking about a story, but I am excited to tell you my side. And when Cameron started doing barbecue, you know, I don't know if you guys have ever had friends or family that have put food on a plate in front of you and let you eat it, and you just like, this is celestial. This will be served in heaven. And this is insanely tasty. You know, and there's a lot of people out there that get this like, oh, for sure, you should start a restaurant, or, oh, those are great cookies, or, you know, that's great. Man, that's the best, you know, burrito I've ever had, or taco, or what it could be a million different things. Chili. Yeah, I have world championship chili.
He does have good chili.
Yeah, I could, you know, and I like to say that I could start a restaurant focused on chili because it's that good. So you hear stories like that all the time, but Cameron had perfected the art of barbecue, and it took time, right? Like, and you continue to perfect it. But you know, I remember So here's my part of the story. I remember telling Cameron I think we should start a restaurant, and he didn't love the idea originally, but I'm like, we have to do this. We have to do this. And he wasn't loving C&D marketing. I mean,
well, I had sold. So in Arizona, when I started competing and really like, I mean, it was ADHD wormhole. Like it's all I could think about. And so I ended up selling my half of C&D for like $25,000 to Andrew and got a $10 an hour job at Barbecue Island in Tempe.
Yeah.
To just focus on barbecue. And so
you were supposed to give me a barbecue discount. You didn't.
so yeah, like C&D was done and now it was just 100% barbecue and I started traveling the country to compete. But yeah, it was after I got that internship in
with John
Austin. Yeah.
With John, what's his last name?
John Lewis.
John Lewis.
Yep. And that's when I remember I got home and I was just, when I got home from Austin, I was just selling barbecue on the weekends to make money. And that's when I got the call from you, like, come over, let's talk about a restaurant, like figure out how much money you need.
Anyway, so the long story short, we found some podunk place on Stay Street. I mean, we were advised by a couple advisors because Cameron and I had no idea what the hell we were doing, right? We were just like, this will be sweet. I remember our Excel spreadsheet we put together at Riverside Country Club. We're like, okay, we could probably make anywhere between $800 to $1,000 a month if we really put our minds to this. And Cameron, built a salary situation for him, which was meager, right? But it was just a cool idea.
Right.
And the rest is history. And it has been so fun to watch what Cameron has done. And I've just been along for the ride. For the first couple years, I was gung-ho, doing my thing, trying to market and get the word out about it. But it's been so fun to watch what Cameron has built.
Yeah, but who knows if I would have ever done it. I mean, it was funny that I came home from Austin knowing how to do restaurant barbecue because the barbecue I had cooked up until that point was competition barbecue, totally different.
Yeah.
And so to get that phone call, like, come over, like, I remember you saying EBITDA and pro forma and things like that. I was like, but
I still don't know what those things are.
I don't even know how to spell that. And so, yeah, I remember going over there and just with my best guess saying like, I think I could do it for $50,000, which looking back, and I mean, any restaurateur that's listening knows like, like 50,000 is nothing, but we did it. I mean, we built out all the tables ourselves. We're still using them. Bought a used smoker, bought a used warming cabinet, and just kind of built it over the last 10 years. To what it is now, it'd probably be
crazy.
$500,000 to open it. But
it's crazy.
But yeah, I mean, it was to get that phone call. It's like, I don't know if I would have ever like pulled the trigger. Like it was so cool to he literally wrote a check out that night. And it kind of forced me to say like, okay, we're doing it. And yeah, that Podunk State Street place, like it was nasty. I went over there to buy some used refrigerators because he was going out of business.
Right.
And I remember just asking the guy like, what's rent here? And he was like, it's like $1,300. And I about crapped my pants. It's like, okay, what's the name of the owner?
Dave.
And yeah,
is
called
Dave
him.
Still alive?
Oh yeah. Yep.
Sorry.
So, and rent's only like $1,000 higher than it was back then.
Yeah,
like it's
incredible.
still super cheap. And so anyway, it's just crazy how it all came together. But had you not called me and just,
it's so fun.
It was cool to be, to have somebody believe in you that much and just write a check. I mean, you assumed all the risk. So yeah, it's a very cool part of the story.
It is. And it's been a wild ride for Cam and I over the course of it's been 10 years because we just hit the 10 year
years is June 1st.
Because I started Gigg the same year. And it's crazy how we just took the plunge. Like we didn't know necessarily what to expect, but we both had it in our hearts to see what, would come of it. And what's been really cool is, Bam Bam's has played a significant role in keeping me above water as I have, done this whole Gigg thing. And we have some really special stories between the two of us over the course of the past 10 years, some way highs, some way lows, but it has just been so special to have my cousin, who on 2 separate occasions during, the last 2 years came through for me to allow me to keep pressing forward with Gigg. And, it's interesting how things happen with investments and taking risks with business, because it's terrifying, and that's why so few people do it. But it's been amazing to watch what you've done with Bam Bams, dude. I just love it. It's one of my favorite businesses. I love telling the story. And the next question is, which I get hit up on the daily about, and I know Cameron does too, is
when are you going to open another Bam Bams?
When are we expanding? And Cameron, I will give Cameron credit for this, because we've had some serious brawls over this whole thing. Cameron is absolutely committed to staying 100% true to barbecuing. There's been
and the quality of the barbecue.
I mean, we've had CEOs from big franchise companies, Cafe Rio, Taco Bell, Burger King, some big dogs. And Cameron has been like,
just like that,
pretty much. One of them was
get the hints, Satan.
Yeah, we should probably blur that out. Grandma wouldn't be, But Cameron has his way of doing things, and I've learned to respect his approach. And when it comes to barbecue, being authentic and staying true to real authentic barbecue, that's a task. And so the question still remains. I'm of course leaving it in Cameron's hands. He knows when the right time will be, but hopefully we can get to that soon, very soon.
It might happen. It's hard. It's a mix of one, the quality, and two, just balance, right? Because it's, those first 3-4 years, it was balls to the wall, like morning, noon, and night. And so to have to kind of do that over again would be really hard with, family and kids and all that. And so I think it'll happen eventually. Yeah. I don't think it's going to be a big, like, I never am going to open like 10 of them, but I can see opening another one.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, it's, and I agree with that approach, by the way, because there are some other barbecue joints that have absolutely lost their mojo by
their soul ripped out. I mean, the money's great and the people that sold them made great money, but they still continue to do well. But I mean, you used to hear, we're going to keep this unnamed, but you used to hear great things about a couple of these places. And now anybody that's really knows barbecue doesn't eat there anymore and eat at those places anymore. And that's what happens, especially with barbecue. I mean, it's not just barbecue. Like Cafe Rio is a great example. Yeah. Costa Vida is a great example. Yeah. Like, you open more. Mo Betta's is another good example. Like places that I just loved, and just as they got bigger and bigger, they just kind of lost the quality, and they're just not as good anymore. Service isn't as good, and barbecue's a little different that way. It's more communal, and so, like, I don't want the barbecue to be. Obviously, I want the food to be the show, but I also want my employees to know you. I want to have like a different experience between like the staff and the guests. Yeah. And, the more you open, it's harder to maintain. Yeah. And so anyway.
Should be interesting.
Yeah.
My vote is St. George. That's where we go next.
St. George would be really good.
It's got to happen.
Logan is interesting too.
Yeah.
I was up there the other day and holy crap, that place is blown up.
Yeah. It's crazy. So all you watching in the comments below, why don't you tell us where you'd like to see the next Bam Bams barbecue? I'd be curious. But it's been amazing with Bam Bams. You can't believe how many celebrities and influencers we have coming in on a regular basis. It's crazy to see so many of the ESPN commentators talking about how much they love Bam Bams. It's like they're fighting to get into their contracts to do a game here in Provo just so they can go to Bam Bams.
That's pretty fun.
Cam's feeding, professional teams on the regular, even some different, news networks or shows. I know that Chris Harrington is a huge
Harrison,
whatever his name is,
Bachelor.
Is he still? He's gone.
Yeah, he got. Oh man, that's the worst story.
Yeah,
but he made out all right.
Yeah, I'm sure he did.
He got a $50 million check.
So I didn't mean to get his name wrong, but he doesn't follow me back on Twitter. So. Anyway, so it's been fun. I want to actually jump into something on a more serious note. that I have been learning more about just recently, only because, my cousin's watching out for me and even some of my internal team. I want to talk about ADHD and ADD. So Cameron
It's
has.
just ADHD now.
Oh, so it's not
Did you know
ADD.
that? Yeah, no more ADD. It's just ADHD. That
Really?
covers all of it. Yeah.
So we in the Warner family are blessed with this thing called
Superpower.
It's a superpower. It actually is. I mean, but Cameron is recently, not recently, I guess you've always kind of talked openly about it, about this ADD thing and how
ADHD.
so many people,
ADHD.
Oh, so it's ADHD. No more
ADHD.
ADD.
And ADD doesn't even exist anymore. Like
Okay.
in all the clinical everything, it's just, they've just kind of narrowed it down to one thing, which I think that'll change.
Yeah.
They're actually fighting to change the name of it because it's a stupid name for the disorder.
So I started listening to a book. It's called ADHD 2.0 that Cameron recommended to me. And there's a reason. It wasn't just Cameron in the conversation that I had with him recently, but also some of my internal team here, has kind of talked with me about it. And
I bet that was interesting.
Yeah, it actually was.
How did that come up?
I think someone just said, Scott, we
So
think you have
anonymous
ADHD.
notes.
Scott, we think you have ADHD or something like that. In a very kind way. And I think that there's a negative stereotype that's connected to ADHD, and a lot of people that have it that don't get treatment for it. Will you tell us your story? I want to hear your story because I think this is really important for some people to hear.
So, like, my story of how I found out I had it.
Yeah, because
So it was knocking doors. It's the second year that I knocked doors. That's when, it's probably the wrong way to do it, but somebody said, I think you have ADHD, try this. And it's like, I remember it being like, remember the movie Limitless?
Yeah, that's one of my
with
favorites.
Bradley Cooper. Like,
yeah.
I remember taking that and just feeling like my whole world just, it was like I could read The Matrix or something all
like
of a sudden.
Zach Galifianakis.
Like, I remember, I just remember like, yeah. I just remember like super focused, knocked doors, happy, remembered things. So I went and got tested and obviously tested off the charts.
I need a side note. When Cameron started taking this, his sales
skyrocketed
out the roof, and we're like,
yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
Yeah. I went and got tested off the charts. Obviously, it made me really appreciate the fact that I graduated high school and that I went on a mission and like the fact that I did all that without, medication and treatment is mind boggling to me. But man, I look back thinking how much different would things have been had I had treatment, because ADHD is interesting. We have such a stigma with drugs, and for most things it's merited. But with ADHD, I don't think people realize how serious it is. There's a new study that just came out that said the average person with ADHD will lose 26 years off of their lifespan.
Without treatment.
But with treatment, I mean, it is the single most treatable, psychiatric disorder that there is. And if you have treatment, that 26 years just gets erased. And so, but unfortunately, with so many kids and teachers and doctors misdiagnosing it, and just anybody that has a little bit of an attention span issue getting the drugs, it's kind of just put this negative spotlight on it. And people kind of look at it like, oh, everybody's got a little ADHD,
right,
when it's actually only about 8 to 10% of the population actually has it in America.
Is it genetic?
It's genetic. Yep. It's hereditary. So, we get it definitely from, I don't know what side we get it from. I mean, it's definitely the Warner side. Yeah. I don't know if it's Kimball or, Warner, but yeah. So, and because of that negative connotation, there's a lot of people that don't want to get treatment because they don't want to be labeled something.
Just because the stigma, probably. I mean, because that's for me.
That's
for me.
totally it.
I don't
like pride, stigma. Like, I don't want to be that person. Everything will be fine. But unfortunately, medication isn't going to be like your magic. It's not going to be some magical fix it all. Like, it's just the foundation of treatment. There's a whole lot of things that you need to do on top of it that make life easier. But for those of us that actually do have it, once you start getting treatment, it's like everything just kind of normalizes and you just kind of feel normal again. A 12-year-old, I think I told you this statistic the other day, a kid with ADHD, by the time they're 12, here's 12,000 more negative comments about themselves from other people than a neurotypical 12-year-old kid.
Whoa.
So our shame is crazy, trauma is crazy. Like if there's another statistic that says if you don't medicate a kid with ADHD by the time they're 12, because their brain is developing, right? And a kid with ADHD's brain literally grows slower as they develop. Their addiction rates, their divorce rates, their suicide rates just jump off the page. It's like 400% increase. Jeez. And we already have a 200-300% increase on addiction and suicide and divorce and all that as it is. And so anyway, there's a lot of really interesting studies coming out, but now there's over 90 medications. So it's like finding the right one is kind of hard, but once you find it, it's a long-term thing. And you can't look at it like, I don't want drugs to fix things. It's not about that. It's just about helping your brain. You have 7 executive functions in your brain, and somebody with ADHD, those things don't work together. We don't look ahead and look behind. We're risk averse. We have no time clock in our head. There's all these interesting things that we all kind of share. It's not a lack of attention, because it's like when you love something, Scott, you go all in.
Yep.
It's more of an executive function disorder, not an attention deficit disorder. So medication really helps.
So what signs should you be looking for, as both for yourself or for your kids? Like what things did you not really notice, or did you notice that you should have been noticing earlier on for yourself and for kids?
It's hard. Nowadays it's going to be really interesting because they've got another thing that they're trying to kind of title or name right now that looks very similar to ADHD. And it really is due to phones. So really? Kids are getting so much dopamine. So that when you have ADHD, one of the biggest problems that we have is we only produce about 10% of the dopamine that a neurotypical person does. And really? Dopamine says, good job, you're doing great. It's kind of what keeps you motivated.
Yeah.
And so when the brain doesn't get sufficient dopamine, the brain kind of takes over. And that's when people with ADHD start doing stupid crap. It's like you'll want to get an adrenaline rush, or hey, just steal that candy bar, it'll be fun, or push the pedal all the way down to the metal and let's go 120 miles an hour. They suspect that up to 80% of our prison population in the US has undiagnosed ADHD.
Jeez.
Because it just makes you do stupid things. So the reason I bring that up is with kids getting dopamine from their phones all day long, they really kind of show the same symptoms of somebody with ADHD. It's like they can't focus. They can't, all they want to do is play. All they want to do is, do the fun things because their brain just needs more and more dopamine. And so, but somebody with biological ADHD, you'll kind of notice it young, and it does show differently in girls and boys. Boys can be a little bit more, easy to see. I think one of the best ways to do it is a person with ADHD generally has a higher IQ than a neurotypical person, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
There's a lot of upside to ADHD. There's a lot of very successful people with ADHD, but there's a lot of downside too. And so I think with me, it would have been easy to notice with I'm smart, but I can't do schoolwork to save my life.
Mm-hmm. That's why your grades were fantastic.
But one thing that's interesting about me is I'll be in pre-algebra my senior year of high school and get a D. And that's just because the teacher loved me, right? But I get A's in AP sociology and AP history.
Interesting.
So when you see a kid just love something, love something, and that's all they can focus on, you'll see a kid like get into dinosaurs at 3 or 4 years old. And they can tell you every dinosaur in the book. They can tell you how big they are. They can tell you everything.
Yeah.
And then not know what 2 + 2 is. Like, that's a good sign,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's not just about hyperactive. It's hyperactive mind. Like they don't want to sleep. They just want to have fun. They just, and not even fun. Like they can work hard if they're interested in what it is.
Yeah.
And so if you see this kind of inconsistent, like, man, I can send him out to mow the lawn. He loves mowing the lawn. But if I ask him to pick up his room, like, forget about it.
Sounds like two of my boys.
Just things like that where, you know, they can be so motivated and the best at what they do in certain things, and they're an absolute moron in things that they're not interested in. That's why school will always be hard for somebody with ADHD, because our education system is just, it was built to make factory workers. Like, it's way too long. There's way too much busy work and homework. It requires way too much attention. A kid with ADHD is really going to excel outside, having different experiences, learning with their hands, getting dirty, and moving. So that's the other thing that ADHD kids really, really need. There's a lot of really interesting things happening in schools where they're putting like treadmills and ellipticals in classes. And as a reward, it's like, okay, you can go ride the bike. And if you can get a kid's heart rate up to 130 beats per minute for a sustained like 4 or 5 minutes, they get 2 hours of the same effect as Adderall or a common ADHD drug. So like movement and exercise is really important for someone with ADHD because it quiets the mind. Even video games can actually be a really good thing for kids with ADHD because it's like the one place where they get some peace. So if you notice a kid, that's another like telltale sign. A lot of kids can get addicted to video games, but a kid with ADHD, they could probably play for 14 straight hours and they think they've been playing for 2. And that's another common thing with ADHD brains is we don't have a clock. You know, most people can kind of tell like it's been an hour. For us, if we don't have 100 clocks nearby,
It's so true.
Oh my gosh. Like
It's
we have no idea how much time has
so-
passed. And that's a very common thing.
Is truth right there.
So
what advice would you give to someone that may think in their heart that they could potentially have ADHD or their kids? What recommendation would you give them?
So if your kids have it, here's the hard part. One of you have it. Like one of the parents has it. And I read something really interesting recently that said, if you want to help your kid succeed with ADHD, you have to fix yours first. Otherwise, you won't be any good at helping them with
Interesting.
that.
It's cool.
Your marriage is probably really hard if you have ADHD. And if you can't figure out why your marriage sucks and you think you may have ADHD, there's your answer. There's some really cool materials about that.
Wow.
But with kids, I mean, get tested and get treated. It's going to be hard. Like we're struggling with it right now. We have 2 kids that have it. And my wife, who does not have ADHD, really struggles with finding our son the right medication because it kind of changes him. He becomes emotional. He becomes kind of difficult to deal with. And it's really heartbreaking to see like, where's that natural, because a lot of people with ADHD are just super fun to be around, right? They're great. They're great at being social. They're generally really smart. And so you don't really want to see that go away. And finding the right medication, that won't go away. You just have to find the right one. Wow. And so obviously I'm always going to say, go get tested. Don't be ashamed of it because there is so much good that comes from ADHD. You know, there's a couple of, probably the 2 biggest doctors in the space. They kind of both have different approaches. One is kind of using fear. I don't think he intentionally does it to scare people, but he wants to help society learn how difficult it is to truly have ADHD. The other one really talks, and he's the author of the book 2.0. I gave you, 2.0. He really talks about the superpowers behind ADHD and how beneficial it is to have it as long as you have it kind of harnessed. I mean, this guy, he has ADHD. He went to Harvard Medical School, very successful. He's written like 15 books now. Cool. So it's like, I mean, the founder of JetBlue, Justin Timberlake, Michael Phelps, Bill Gates. I mean, the list, most people think Albert Einstein had ADHD. I mean, you look at a picture of his desk the day he died and it's pretty obvious. But so it's not a bad thing, but you can't.
Don't wait.
And you don't want to live the rest of your life trying to just wing it, because it's so hard, and it's not just hard for you, it's
Those
hard
around
for
you.
those around you, especially those that love you.
Yep.
And so, but I think awareness is important, because a lot of people get so mad at me about the phone, and I've learned to just not care about it. Like, if you don't know that I truly love you, outside of how I treat my phone with you, like, that's your problem.
Yeah.
Like, when we're face to face that I love you to pieces, but with my phone, like, I suck at it.
Yeah. He's
And it's
all-time
just,
worst, but
it's just, but man, when you're with me, like,
yeah.
hopefully you don't, nobody feels that way, but yeah, it's hard. And I really feel there's so many families that are struggling with kids, and I'm like, trust me, it's harder for the kid.
Yeah.
Like, you don't realize how much that kid struggles. And if you notice, the other thing that you'll really notice is people pleasing. Kids with ADHD love to please because they love compliments, and they kind of feel like a burden to everybody, because their teachers, all they ever hear is, "You're so smart. If you would just
Apply yourself.
or the word potential. You have so much potential. Like, if you just work a little hard," it's like, that's all you hear. I mean, I heard that. I still hear it. And it is just, you're basically being told your whole life you're just not enough. And so, anyway.
It's good stuff. Well, thank you. There's some words of wisdom there for sure. And I am looking further into it. You guys need to check out the 2.0 book that he recommended. Who's the author? Do you remember his name?
I'm the worst at names.
Yeah.
It's
Ned Flanders. Okay, so check it out when you get a second. I'm sure you can find it if you look it up. So with that being said, let's get back to the more immature, not immature, but more fun side.
Edward Hollowell. Sorry, we had to say it. Edward Hollowell.
Samsonite. Way off. So we made a list of questions that Michelle, who now has a mic in hand, is going to ask us. Cam, you'll see to your left there. We've got paper and pen. She is going to ask us a question, and as soon as you fill it out, just lay it flat on its face on the
marriage
ground
game.
here. This is the newlywed game, except for cousin game. So, Michelle,
newlywed game. That's what it's called.
Yeah, the newlywed game.
Scott will make fun of my handwriting at some point.
Yeah, so if you can read hieroglyphics, you have no worries on Cameron's answers. So the worst writing in the history
I don't have
of
a
the world.
clipboard.
Neither do I.
Crap.
Okay, so here we go. Go ahead, Michelle.
Okay. What elementary school did your cousin attend? Oh, are we tearing through all the questions?
Yep.
Okay.
Next.
Who is your cousin's childhood crush?
Oh gosh.
Scott
You
wrote
have
these questions. He
three
has an
pieces of
unfair
paper?
advantage.
I could still. be
How
wrong.
childhood are we talking?
Just
No,
the
no.
one that sticks out. Come on.
There's no qualifiers here.
Really think about it. It's not that hard.
Okay. We're going to do favorite sports teams of your cousins. First one is the NFL team.
So we're writing this on the same page, right?
Yeah, same page.
Okay.
So first is NFL team.
Oh, NFL?
Okay.
Uh-huh.
There's 5 of them, so Cam, so leave
Yeah.
enough. Okay.
Okay, MLB team.
Oh wait, I'm writing. Sorry. I was
Their
writing
favorite, not
mine.
your favorite.
Yeah.
Their
my
favorite.
bad.
You can just. Get
What's the
rid of
next one?
NBA,
Okay.
NHL,
What is Scott's? Okay. I should know this.
and then their favorite college team.
Did we do MLB?
We did. Was the second one.
Oh, oops. I thought that was NBA.
ADHD.
No, NFL, MLB, NBA, NHL, college team.
Okay.
Just
I
wait
think
for everyone to
anybody
catch up.
listening to this podcast
Listo.
should know the MLB one.
Listo.
Would your cousin choose Bam Bam's Swachos or brisket?
Okay.
You gave a lot of questions. How many girls did your cousin kiss before meeting his wife? Judging by that laugh, I'm going to guess 4,000. I'm just kidding.
This is a guess. It's probably low.
Shut up.
Okay, next question. What shoe size does your cousin wear?
Oh, that's easy.
No reading the bottom of the feet. Don't look away.
I think that's the right answer.
Cameron has small feet, like Cinderella feet.
Cute. Okay, your cousin's wife's biggest pet peeve about him.
Your cousin's wife's?
Yeah.
Like Scott's, Mikkel's biggest pet peeve
Mikkel's
about
biggest
me?
pet peeve about
me.
Oh, about
Scott.
you.
Yeah.
I don't know your wife's name, Cam.
Oh, that one's easy.
Scott, vice versa. Okay.
That's a
Ready?
good question.
Oh, I'm struggling with this one. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave that one. Well,
Yes, come on.
I don't even know if I know. No,
Make
I
the
know
fans
my wife's
wait.
biggest pet peeve about me. I'll teach you if you get it wrong. There's like 8, but
Okay, your cousin's favorite band or artist?
oh,
I think I know this one.
Okay,
I don't know.
Okay,
Oh, all right.
their favorite superhero.
Oh, geez.
Okay, everyone ready? Maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, what sport are they best at? Okay, what are the biggest concerts, sports, or events you've attended together?
Ah.
Aw.
Like, what's the one biggest that we went together?
I'm gonna say pick one.
Pick
No,
one?
Oh,
pick a few.
Scott's picking a few. I changed my mind. Okay, I'm still thinking.
Trying to
Let
think
me
what
know
our
if you need the
biggest
Jeopardy sound.
sports- What our biggest sports one would be.
That's easy.
It is?
Yes, it's easy. Actually, no, it's not.
Oh, it was easy. Now it's not.
Hmm.
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 Hmm. I'm just kidding.
Mm. Oof. Yeah, that's
Okay, I'm gonna move on.
yeah. Move on.
Okay, what has your cousin almost ruined or sabotaged in your life? Okay. The next one. We ready?
Ready.
What is his stripper stage name? I didn't write these questions. I just want everyone to know. Just throwing that out there.
You have a stripper stage name?
He has one for you, is what he's saying.
I know exactly what he's going to use for me. I just don't know what I'm going to use for him.
How could you not remember mine? You suck. I can't believe it. Okay.
Okay, I'm still thinking. Give him a second.
Mine's the greatest of all time, Cam.
Yeah, this is going to be wrong, but
Yours is pretty good.
Okay.
I think I
How
remember
long-
mine.
How long does it take your cousin to respond to a text? Okay. Anytime your cousin does this, you're laughing uncontrollably.
Oh, that
Okay,
one's
and
easy.
last one, the
My
funniest
favorite.
the funniest memory ever of yours.
No, I just spelled that wrong.
That's okay. Spell it however you want.
I guarantee we got that one right.
Okay. That was it. That's all my questions.
Let's go. Okay, so how do we do this, Michelle? You asked the question.
Yes, I will restate the question. Am I
And
counting
say
to
the
3?
Answer, like if it's about me, I say the answer and then you show me your sign, right?
Yeah. So
Is that what we're doing?
I'll say mine first, and then you raise it, and then you say yours, and I'll raise the.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so the first one is elementary school. What elementary school did they attend?
I went. You should have.
Is that the first one?
That is the first one.
Yeah,
So
there
you
it
just-
is.
yeah.
No, they're in order.
Okay. I went to Harborview in Huntington Beach.
Boom.
Very
We've
good.
got Harborview.
You're gonna get mine wrong.
Where'd you go?
I technically went. Well, I went to 2, but I bet you got 1 right.
Okay.
So I went to Mini Gant in Long Beach till I was like 6. But
That's not elementary.
yes, it is.
That's preschool.
Well, I was there through 2nd or 3rd grade, but Springview.
We got Springview. Good job, team. Okay, the next question. Their childhood crush.
Oh gosh.
Scott, who was your childhood crush?
Well, Elizabeth Shue, but then Denise Richards.
Oh, we're talking like celebrity crush? You didn't say that.
That's
Oh,
true.
okay,
That's
so
a poor
like
clarification.
Okay, so my like crush growing up.
Like your yeah, I was thinking like
Probably
your first
Tara.
big girlfriend.
Probably Tara.
Yeah, I didn't write Tara.
Natalia, and her name is Natalia.
I
not
know,
Natalie.
but it was
Natalie's half a point.
it was close.
Okay, so I answered it as
So
celebrity.
celebrity crush.
Yeah,
Brooke
you-
Burke. Catherine Zeta-Jones or Brooke
Oh,
Burke.
Brooke Burke.
What's
Very
up?
nice. Very nice. The next question, we've got sports teams. So NFL team.
my favorite sports teams: Rams,
NFL.
Dodgers for
MLB.
MLB, Lakers for NBA, Kings for hockey, and BYU.
Oh, look at that. Cam's got a full match.
Wow.
Boom.
Cam, that's impressive. Nice work.
Okay. Your turn. What's yours?
Okay, so Saints first.
Okay.
What was next? Dodgers,
Nice.
Lakers, Kings, BYU.
We got a full match.
Kings.
Okay. Oh, well,
Oh. Scott
I
said
should've said
Blackhawks.
Blackhawks.
Yeah, you should have said Blackhawks.
I'm
'cause
sorry.
I've
Well,
given you
Is it
all-
actually
it's kind of
Blackhawks?
both. It's kind of both.
Okay. You don't get
It's
to like
because
change.
we worked in Chicago, but you're right. I'm sorry. I
You
screwed
That's
that
talked
fair.
up.
about Blackhawks to
No,
start this
you're right. I did.
podcast,
I did.
Bastard.
But
Okay,
I've
next
kind of
one.
been
Okay,
back into the Kings again too. But
That's fine.
Yeah.
Swatchos or brisket?
I would choose brisket.
What?
That was not my guess.
You
My guess was
invented
also going to be
Swatchos, and we haven't even talked about this. Well, I invented them, but they're named after you.
Thank you.
Cute.
Scott Warner nachos. Yes, thank you, Cameron. That was sweet.
You screwed that
What
one
would
up.
you-
Now we're even.
What do you say,
Brisket.
Cam?
All day long.
World Championship brisket.
Cam, I also guess Swatchos, so you're not alone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Especially
okay.
where they're like, it's Scott Warner nachos.
Yeah. How many girls did they kiss before meeting their wife? Meeting their wife?
I
Okay.
kissed 2.
You're
That
so stupid.
feels-
I
I
got the
don't-
3rd number right.
Nice. For some reason, I don't believe 2. 2 feels false. Cam guessed
He's a triple
182.
digit skank. I guarantee it.
Wait. What'd you
How
say?
many?
I'm like in the 50s, 40s, 50s.
Really?
Yeah.
Whoa.
I thought you were a wholesome young. I put 17.
17. That's my hocky number.
That,
A
oh yeah.
wholesome 17.
17.
You didn't say dry hump. You said
there's-
just hit. I'm just kidding.
Grandma.
Write that down.
What are we on?
Edit.
Shoe size. What's a shoe
I
size?
wear a 10.5.
Oh, I was pretty close. I said 11,
What size do you wear?
15.
15.
I don't think half sizes
Wow.
should count.
Okay. Your cousin's wife's biggest pet peeve about him.
Yours is easy. And if you don't know it, you have a problem.
I work a lot. My phone.
There you go. Cam said phone.
What's your wife's, Cam?
Mine would be it's sarcasm for sure.
Sarcasm.
Yeah.
What did Scott say?
Snoring and flatulence.
I don't snore. I use the CPAP now. Suck
Hey,
it.
there you go.
That's right. Okay, sorry.
I don't like this. We should have done this by genre.
Okay, your cousin's band's favorite artist.
You're going to know mine.
Sorry, your
Mine's-
cousin's favorite band or artist. I can read.
Yeah.
My favorite band is Led Zeppelin. And my
What?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Beatles, Led Zeppelin, Beach Boys.
Okay, favorite
I
is
got
not
way
like
off.
4. Green
That's
Day.
Trey.
I know it's Trey, but it was kind of all of our thing.
Who's yours?
Garth Brooks.
That's a
Without
solid choice, my
without
man.
a doubt.
Garth Brooks.
My favorite.
Oh, solid choice.
Okay.
Next one, favorite superhero.
Cameron, you should know this. Superman.
Cam
very
said
good.
Superman
Duh.
for Scott.
Oh,
And that. Oh,
Yeah, mine's Batman.
is it Batman?
You got it
Very
right.
nice. Okay. Next, what sport are they best at?
I'm best at baseball.
Oh, Cam looks offended.
What?
That's my best sport.
That's just because you like it the best. Dude, you were best at football. I don't give a crap what you say.
Oh, Cam says
you
football.
You were an excellent football player.
Thank you,
What
Cameron.
position did you play?
That was stupid that you wrote baseball.
Wait, what
I thought
position?
you'd say baseball.
You didn't play baseball. Like,
Dude,
football was your thing in high school.
Because my dad forced me.
Womp womp.
Well, if you would have
Well,
said
we won't
favorite sport, I would have said baseball. But like the sport you're
Yeah,
best
okay.
at, sorry,
What
it's
sport were
football.
you
You were
best
dude, you played both sides. Hockey for me, of course.
Ah, very nice. What are their
This is
biggest,
bullcrap.
the biggest concerts, sports, or events you've ever attended together?
This one's kind of hard.
This one we just need to show at the same time because it's actually the same answer. Let's just see if
Okay,
we got how many
1,
we got.
2, 3.
Oh my gosh, how did I not
Okay.
write World Series?
A Blink Green Day
No, we got the
concert.
Olympics
You didn't put
ones.
The World
USA
Series, the
Belarus,
Dodgers winning
Rams
game.
Bills.
I know that,
6
dude.
of the World Series.
You're talking to an ADHD person. These are hard to remember in the moment.
President Hinckley in Chile.
Oh yeah, but that's not a sporting event.
Yeah,
Like
it was an event, and the USA.
we got the USA
Oh.
Belarus one. That
Rams, Bills, USA, Belarus.
opening game last year. I
Yeah.
thought that was pretty big.
Yeah, those are good. My
But
list
yeah,
better.
the World Series. Holy, yeah, yours is better. I can't believe I forgot about that. That's a great story.
Forgetting
Yeah,
about the
right.
World Series is a big one. The next one. What has your cousin almost ruined or sabotaged in your life?
Do we even really have one for you?
my
To me?
yeah, my marriage, my marriage engagement.
He said sorry. It's
My
written on there.
engagement to my
That's for
sweet
Mikkel.
wife.
That's for
She's
Mikhail.
an angel. He doesn't deserve her.
Do you not know what I sabotaged? It just was last year, last year or the year before, and you were like, this is where
Oh, it's fantasy football. Yeah, he almost destroyed her.
Oh, easy.
our fantasy football league.
He
You
sabotaged
have
you.
grown. The fact that you can talk about it's pretty cool.
Way to go.
He did.
Okay, the next one is the stripper stage
bitch.
name.
Come on, Cam.
I don't know yours.
Rusty Whitecap.
Oh, that's your porn name, you dummy.
No, we're not gonna say porn.
Well, why didn't you at least tell me off air? Porn name's your first pet name and the first street. See, if
Yeah,
you would have
Rusty.
said that, I would have gotten it. I just said white chocolate.
You got part of it
Careful
right.
though, white
We'll
chocolate.
Give him a half a point.
You
for
might
the
melt.
Rusty Whitecap. And then Cameron's. What's yours?
Well, it's Buck Gentry.
Buck
But you
Gentry.
didn't say it right. Oh, gosh.
Cameron.
See, I should have been involved in these questions.
That's fair. How
Rusty
long?
white cap. It's so good.
It's the greatest.
How long does it take for your cousin to respond to a text?
Within 24 hours, sometimes 30 seconds.
I would say I thought you'd write a question mark.
What did you put?
1 minute.
A minute.
And
Nice.
how about you, Cam? How long? Does it
Question mark.
take? Question mark? I put 1 to 5 weeks.
You should have put 1 day to 5 weeks.
Okay.
That's fair. It's
But you're
either-
learning. You did a question mark thing like I told you to do. It was good.
Yeah, that's good.
It is either
I
or.
appreciate that.
Okay.
Next, anytime your cousin does this, you're laughing uncontrollably.
Cameron's gonna say dry heaving for me.
Oh, gosh. No brainer.
Cameron's like
When you
his goal in life is to get me
It
dry
is
heave.
so
Sends me things that
funny.
make me dry heave. What would I say for you, Cam?
Oh, gosh. What do I do to make you laugh the hardest? I'd say cuss. I feel like
That
whenever
would
I
be
cuss.
up there, but I've got one more.
Really?
Come on.
think.
Twerk?
Yes.
Nice.
yes. He is a
Look,
pro.
he's not even
He's
actually
a pro.
twerking.
He's a pro. The best.
There you go. That was great. Last but not least, the funniest memory ever.
Let's just hold
I
them up
feel like we
together
need to
because
tell the
there's-
story.
There's
Okay.
no way that we didn't both put this down.
1, 2, 3. There it is. Orange
Yes.
Grove poop.
I drew poop.
You wrote it.
Cameron wrote it out.
You got there.
I don't know if we can tell the story.
I'm telling a story. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
This is a great story. Well, it happened to me, so it's not embarrassing for
This-
you.
this
You were just
story-
an innocent bystander.
This is a story requested to be shared at every family outing.
Yep.
My kids asked me to recite it once every month at least.
So next time you come to Bam Bam's, if you look on the south wall, you'll see an orange tree. And maybe you've looked at it 100 times and you've never even thought twice about it. But if you look below the orange tree, there's a small pile of dog poo. And I'm about to tell you the meaning behind that picture. And so we, when we were kids, I had kind of run away from home, literally. I'm kind of being serious. My parents were divorcing. It was kind of ugly, and I wanted to just get out of there. And so I moved down to Arizona to live with my cousins and just get a little break. And so one Friday night, we decided to go oranging. Now in Arizona, there's orange groves, like kind of spread out, but through the city, like through city streets.
Yeah.
And so kids, what they would do is they'd go in these orange groves late at night and pick up rotten oranges and throw them at cars while they're going by. It's really mature. It's a great activity.
I'm not sure if I can remember this, but anyway, go ahead.
So anyways, one night we decided to go oranging, and this particular orange grove was right along a busy street, but because it was late and it was kind of far out there, we weren't very close to a bathroom. And I really had to go number 2. And, just being young, and, when you're young, you can sleep anywhere, you can poop anywhere, everything's easy. So, so I decided to go behind an orange tree and do my business. And our special young Trey Warner, which is Scott's little brother, my cousin, finds a plastic grocery bag kind of blowing across the parking lot, and thinks it would be funny to wrap it around his hand like you would if you were walking a dog. And when you pick up a dog's poo, you put your little baggie around your hand and you pick it up. Well, he does that with my feces. Here comes the dry heaving. And proceeds to not only pick it up, but as he pulls this, through his hand, and he's just holding the bag with the poop in it, he decides to start squeezing it over and over. He's just squeezing over and over. And it's just the grossest thing you've ever seen. And there's like 8 of us in a circle, and he's just, he's the younger brother still at this point. So he's just, making everybody laugh. He's probably only 13, 14, maybe 15. But anyways, the genius, we're in the middle of the desert, right? It's hot. When a plastic bag is beating in the sun all day, like this probably was, it loses its strength. And so he starts like twisting it above his head.
You forgot to say he was like, "Oh, this is so warm."
Oh yeah, it's so like warm. Oh, it's so gross. Anyway, so he starts like throwing it above his head like a lasso, like just swinging it around in circles. And we're all around him just kind of laughing. And hopefully you're watching the video of this because it kind of sells it. But I'm laughing and my mouth's open, ha, 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 ha. And all of a sudden, I just feel thump, 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 like 5 just big thuds. Starting from my forehead, my cheek, my mouth, my chin, and down on my chest. 9 people or 8 people sitting around in a circle, and the one person that gets hit is me with my own smashed up, gross poo. And I went from laughing super hard to just like, freaking out. Trey. Yeah, so mad. Everyone's dying. It's taking everything in me to not puke. I rip my shirt off. I wipe as much of it off me as I can. And we all drive home in my Honda Accord.
Dry heaving.
5 of us in my Honda Accord. And I'm still covered in what I couldn't wipe off. And so all the windows are open, but everyone is gagging and dry heaving. We walk in, and my poor Anthony said to help me clean it up. And
yeah, he handed a poop-stained T-shirt to my mom.
I still remember the T-shirt. And so... anyway, yeah, and then I had to clean all the my own poo all off of me. So that's it's one of our greatest memories.
Well, we're happy that we could share that story with you here on the podcast.
So now next time you go to Bam Bam, you see that picture, you'll probably giggle.
Are we going to regret telling that story?
No, it's a funny story. We were just children. I mean, it was like 6 years ago.
Anyway, yes. It was.
So yeah, there's our funniest story.
Anyway, we hope that you've enjoyed today's podcast. It's been good, dude.
Yeah, it's been
I love
fun.
you, brother. I
love you too.
And we're gonna have you on again. I have some ideas for Trey, who we just talked about, myself and Cameron getting together. I can assure you that will be an episode or episodes you do not want to miss. But Cam, what's your favorite cereal? We always end every podcast with
Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Definitely is related to me. my number
Are you
one.
giving me a box?
Yes.
That's
just for right
awesome.
now, you'll have to give it to me when the podcast
Okay.
is over. Just kidding. Anyway,
That's
thanks
the
for being
best.
on, dude.
Thanks for having me.
Any parting words that you'd like to share with us?
Just if you want to start something, just do it. It's the cliche Nike term, right? One of the best things I learned about during our podcast, like the one that I did, is how many people had no idea what they were doing when they started their business.
Oh, yeah.
And they're total success stories. So if there's anything that you've always wanted to try as a business or a side hustle, you've got Google, you've got YouTube. That's all you need. Go get it. And don't go to college unless you know what you want to do for a living.
Amen.
If you don't need a degree, just go get a job.
Amen and
parents.
amen. Where can everyone find you on social media, or where
So just at Bam Bam's BBQ, or just my name, Cameron Treu. That's Treu, and it's all the social media things.
Fantastic.
I'm on all
Go
of
give
them
him a follow.
Snapchat.
He's a good one. Good one to follow. All right. Until next time. Sayonara.